The most awesome thing about being an uncle is that after 40-something years on this planet, I finally get to be called Uncle Joey. You have no idea. Without having to pay a girl an extra $40 and make her wear a helmet. Because that is awkward during Thanksgiving. They're like, dude, why is there an Amish girl under the table churning butter? Shut up and pass me a napkin. Right? But now that I got this nephew, I've become obsessed with anything with kids. I was watching an infomercial like 4 in the morning. Tell me if anybody's heard this. It's a product called Baby Speaks. Has anybody seen this?
Yeah.
Okay, you have. Good. Because for anybody who doesn't know, this is real. I'm not making this up. There is a program out there where you could buy a DVD and teach your infants how to speak and spell. Less than 1. And I said to myself, that's complete nonsense. There's no way that's true. And you probably agree with me, right? Yeah. Guess what? We're wrong. I was in a food town. I was online waiting to get my stuff, and there was a kid. The kid was like this big. It was like a shot glass. It was this little thing, just sitting there. And I'm just like sitting there, and the baby just looking at me, and then the baby just starts talking to me. Like literally, just like, Mommy, weird beard guy, creepy, banana, choo-choo. Holy shit. I couldn't believe it. So I did what any other red-blooded American would have done. I fucking killed it, okay? That was not a baby. That's a midget or a spy or an alien. I bet you it was a Russian spy who didn't know the Cold War was over and trying to get the trans fats back into the Cheerios. Tell me that. I had somebody come out to me and say, did you really kill that baby? Yeah, I fucking killed the baby. Yeah, of course. How stupid are you? I killed the baby. So, do we have anybody here still occasionally? Because they're trying to pass a law in New York to decriminalize marijuana. Anybody here still dabble a little bit in the marijuana? I hate when people say marijuana is a gateway drug. No, it's not. Alcohol is a gateway drug.
Thank you.
I don't know one heroin addict that never drank. Imagine that. I'm a heroin addict, but I've never tasted a beer.
Right.
But anybody here still smoke a little pot? A couple? Do we have any professional pot smokers here? And what I mean by that is that people that smoke so much pot, you can't even tell they're high anymore, right? See, I find it interesting because there's a lot of comedians that will make all these jokes about marijuana and the stereotypes of people that smoke marijuana. And a lot of them do the, eating a Doritos or, being lazy, whatever it is. But the one thing that nobody ever mentions, especially with you professional pot smokers, is that when they get really, really, really high, they become rocket scientists. And I'm not talking about regular rocket scientry, okay? If that's a word. I'm talking about somebody that gets so high that they start talking shit so much that they blow your mind. And they're like, they literally start saying shit and you're like, oh my God, no way, holy shit, go on. But the problem is that these people lose interest in their own story halfway through and leave you hanging. I'll give you an example. Me and my friends were talking about the worst, most boring thing you could talk about, politics. And Stoner Boy came over and blew our mind. We were just arguing about shit. He goes, yo man, let me tell you something about the American government. See, it's a two-party system and it's broken. We need the third leg of the party. And see, the parties, their philosophies are too different. See, the Republicans, they're like your father. Even if you catch your father lying, he's like, fuck you, I'm your dad. And the Democrats are like your cool uncle. where you could get like beer from him when you're young, or he'll be like, here, smoke a little bit of this, until you piss off your uncle, and then he rats you out to your dad. And with the different philosophies, and with the 3-part judicial, with all the branches, when you take all of these things with the House of Representatives, it is. I love Gilligan's Island. Is the professor a Republican or a Democrat? And even though they're trying to legalize it, like California, they legalize it, and for medicinal purposes, and New York's trying to get it where it's decriminalized, there are still states in America where there are some really screwed up laws. There's a state somewhere in the South that it states if you get caught with marijuana residue, which means it's already smoked, it's hash. If you get caught with that in your car, you could get 6 months in prison. 6 months! Has anybody here ever been to prison?
No.
I haven't. And let me tell you something. It scares the shit out of me. Because I've watched all of those CN, you know, those CN, ABC, those late night, yeah, you know, the
Lockup.
The Lockup, Raw, Lockdown, My Heiny Hurts Penitentiary, all those shows. And those guys are scary. Could you imagine? Because these guys, he's got the rapists and murderers, and they make shanks out of anything. You ever see that? There was a guy, he made a shank out of a chicken wing, man. Could you imagine a guy getting arrested and in prison for 6 months for having residue in his car? What would that first night be with his new roommate? I call them roommates.
Painful.
All of a sudden his roommate's like, yo, boy, what you in here for? Well, I got pulled over by a bicycle cop. And they found marijuana residue in my vehicle. How about you, sir? I'm gonna put my vehicle in your ear hole. Unless you shut the hell up. Now we got bingo to go to. I don't know why there's bingo in prison.